I just hate that you get pushed one side or the other. If you don't believe in that, you do believe in that. And like you said, like we only follow the things that will confirm our viewpoint. That's a really good way to put that, because I'm thinking about a lot of the news. Like I said, I haven't really identified, as I've only really dove into politics, like watching the news, watching all the debates, things like that, until recently. And I'm reading all these news articles, and I'm telling my mom, which is a Republican, and I'm telling her about these news articles that I'm reading and stuff. And, well, what'd you get that information off of? And I was like, oh, this and this and this. Those are all Democratic things. I'm like, oh my God, am I a Democrat? Like, like you have to understand that. It made me think, though, when I Googled a piece of information, I don't get Fox News. I don't get all these things. And so it's kind of weird how, like you said, all social media, all these internet things will tune to what it thinks I am and only give me those news sources. So now I'm like, I don't want that. Now I have to Google whatever the topic is, Fox News, so I can see what the other side is saying about it.
See, this is the scary part about modern technology in general. I mean, I love technology. I think everybody should embrace technology, but there's also some certain aspects that we need to talk about. Like I said, one of my best friends is a computer scientist, and he understands things like algorithms, like YouTube algorithms, right? Because I was watching a lot of your podcasts started showing up on my YouTube algorithm, right? So actually studying what videos are pulling up is very important for people framing their opinions, right? When I start watching liberal shows on YouTube, literally the only things that come up are going to be the liberal viewpoints. So how these computers are programmed to actually pull up different news sites or different things recommended for you to watch, this is having a major impact on public opinion. And it's something that both computer scientists and political scientists need to be very concerned about, and also watching to be, I mean, we're heading into another civil war, and I hate to say it, because liberals and Democrats live in different worlds. That's just how it is. I mean, liberals and Democrats literally live in different worlds. They see the world completely differently. There's been tons of studies that show, there's even studies that suggest that they live different lifestyles at this point. Liberals tend to have messier rooms. They tend to have more creativity or artistic creativity. They tend to try new things more. Conservatives tend to be typically more strictly disciplined. They tend to live by a regimented, habitual lifestyle. They tend to be to make more money, right? There's different lifestyles now, and I think it's all being caused and perpetrated by this social media, these algorithms that are coming, and this confirmation bias, like what we were talking about.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It sucks that you have to force yourself to learn, because you're right. You're like you said, it's like confusing, but it makes sense. But if you try to like understand the bigger picture,
it's way more complicated.
Yeah.
And two college students sitting down in Pocatello, Idaho aren't going to be able to figure it out.
100%.
But we can figure out what the best we can do for ourselves.
Exactly. And so like trying to actually go out there and find both sides of articles. If my mom never said something like that, I would have never even known, or even talking to you about this, about how all, like you said, the algorithms, I played with YouTube algorithms since I was 12 years old, making gaming videos, like it's always debating on what you watch is what you get, or you'll get similar types of videos. And now understanding that Google's doing the same thing, like when I'm just trying to Google, the stimulus bill or whatever may be happening, and I'm like Googling it, all I get is things that they think that I might like, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm being one-sided. Because all these articles are like, again, back to this black and white system that I just hate, of Republicans are doing this and Democrats are holding it up. And I'm talking to my family, Democrats are holding this up, they're doing this, they're doing that. It's so like black and white. And I'm reading all these articles, come to find out that, Democrats with the stimulus bill in particular are thinking about, they didn't want to give give the Trump administration the power to give all these companies and things like literally billions of dollars without any kind of guidelines. But my family Republican views, all they say is all they're consuming is this, they're wrong and Democrats are wrong because they just don't want to help. They don't want to help anybody. And I'm like, how could you even say that?
Sure.
Like,
and, see, this is the scary part too, is I do watch Fox News just because I like to see what people are watching. Like my parents watch Fox News. My almost all the Republicans in my life just consume Fox News on the day, right?
Oh yeah.
And I just I'm curious on what conservatives are consuming. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still consume MSNBC. I consume CNN. I watch it with a very careful eye.
Right.
But I like to see what is happening on Fox News. And typically the Democrats that they put on their show to give the Democratic point of view, it's like, this person's an idiot. It's
Yeah.
like, this is not what I believe. This is not even close to what I believe. I mean, I consider myself a Democrat, and this is not even close to what I believe. This person's an
Right.
idiot, right?
Right.
So they have people, MSNBC does the exact same thing. They bring Donald Trump supporters on who are complete idiots, who don't represent a majority of this constituency, and it's very concerning. We need to understand each other's point of views and each other's perspectives, and understand that Republicans don't want to see this country burn. Democrats also don't want to see this country burn.
Exactly.
We're all working towards the same goal, in that we want to see our country succeed. We want our children to have a better future than us. We're all working towards the same goal, but it's this demonizing of the other side that's very dangerous.
Exactly. Yeah, like I hate this black and white system because, again, not only these things, like we're getting fed whatever the algorithm feeding us, but the content itself. You know, my mom's talking about how Bernie went on to some Republican, I think it was Fox News, but don't quote me on that, but went on someone and they're like, they just ripped him apart. And I'm like, Mom, you got to understand. Okay, just as an interview, when I like writing my questions and things like that, like knowing your guests ahead of time, and plus when you have a team of 30, 40 people coming up with questions, you're specifically trying to ask questions and tone things in the answers that you want. So when they bring someone on to Fox News, I'm sure they're asking questions that they know they can't answer, or at least will stumble on, or won't be appealing to their audience because it'll just benefit them in the long run, rather than having a genuine, calm discussion like a podcast. You know,
it also kind of depends too, because I watched all of those town halls that Bernie Sanders had on Fox News too. The funny thing is that me and my parents are very conservative. Well, I don't know if they're very conservative, but they're conservative. So I'm watching it, they're watching it. At the end, I'm just like, man, Bernie Sanders did so good. Like, he killed him. And my parents are like, what? Right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We live in completely different worlds. But the thing is that, I mean, Republicans and Democrats, we tend to value different things. When Bernie Sanders says that he wants to make Medicare for all, right? He wants to make healthcare affordable. Conservatives, they look at that with disdain, right? They think that it's not possible, that the price tag's too big, whatever goes through their mind whenever they see that, or whatever goes through my mind when I see it. It's completely different things.
Right.
And
exactly.
So that's the weird thing. And I think did you ever do debate and speech in high school?
I did.
Yeah. So, I mean, I love debate and speech. I volunteer with the high schools here still, actually. I love
awesome.
Speech and debate. It's the best. There was one time where I was debating, I think it was about universal basic income, which has been becoming a big thing now with this whole coronavirus and that stimulus package, sending everybody a certain check, right? There's one person to my right, there's one person to my left that's judging this debate that I'm having with this person about universal basic income. There's one person that's on my right that adamantly disagrees with what I'm saying. Another person on my left that is very much agrees with what I'm saying, right? These two people heard the exact same conversation. One person,
that's true.
One person does not agree with me. One person very much agrees with me. Isn't that weird?
That is weird how you perceive it. You're hearing it and you're listening it in the way that you want to hear and listen to it.
100%.
You know?
And they heard the exact same conversation. One person voted for me. One person voted for the other person. It's crazy.
That is kind of crazy. It's just how we're built, how we consume our experiences, our cultures, our backgrounds, our economic status, etc.